Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Saiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudriye Ashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bagavatam, canto 11, chapter 2, text number 2 and 3. Maharaj Nimi meets the 9 Yogendras. So just a recap. Welcome to Srimad Bagavatam sessions, continuing from the 9th chapter, 11th canto, 2nd chapter, when Maharaj Nimi meets the Navayogendras. As I already told, Swayambhuva Manu's son is Priyavrata, and Priyavrata's son is Agnidhara, and Agnidhara's son was Nabi, and Lord Rishabhadeva, the plenary portion of Vasudeva, incarnated as the son of Nabi. So here we have to understand that Swayambhuva Manu's son is Priyavrata, and Priyavrata's son is Agnidhara, and Agnidhara's son is Nabi, and Nabi's son is finally the Rishabhadeva. And Rishabhadeva had 100 sons, and one son's name is Bharata, in whose name the entire earth was called Bharata Varsha or Ajanaba Varsha. Bharata Varsha or Ajanaba Varsha. So Priyavrata, Swayambhuva Manu's son is Priyavrata, and Priyavrata's son is Agnidhara, and Agnidhara's son is Nabi. Nabi's son is the Rishabhadeva, who is plenary portion of Vishnu, Mahavishnu. And Rishabhadeva had 100 sons. One such son's name is Bharata, and in whose name the entire planet was coined as Bharata Varsha or Ajanaba Varsha. Ajanaba Varsha, it was the earlier name, and then later it has become Bharata Varsha. The 9 other sons of Rishabhadeva were highly exalted and pure devotees who were well versed in all Vedic scriptures and had a lot of inclination towards studying Vedic scriptures and following the Vedic style of life. And they were Kavi, Havir, Antariksha, Prabuddha, Pipalayana, Avihotra, Drumila, Chamasa, and Karabhajana. So they were all well versed in the knowledge of the self, fixed in their goal, and always striving for perfection. As I told you, they are well self-realized. They are highly self-realized souls, and they are fixed in their knowledge of studying scriptures and distributing scriptures. And their goal is always striving for perfection in spiritual life. So 9 other sons of Rishabhadeva took on the duty of Kshatriyas and became members of the 9 Dvipas comprising Bharata Varsha. So how this Bharata Varsha was divided and given in charge, that is been explained in this verse. So in the first verse, Sukadeva Goswami told that Govinda Bhujaguptyam Dev Dwaravatyam Kuru Dvaha Avatsin Narado Abhikshanam Krishnopasana Lalasa. Sukadeva Goswami here is telling that one who is eager to engage in the worship of Lord Govinda, Lord Krishna, who best of the Kurus, Narada Muni stayed for some time in Dwaraka, which was always protected by the arms of the Govinda. So it is explained in this sloka that how a person or a devotee or a pure devotee have the advantages and merits of staying in a dham. Because if he is staying in a dham like Dwaraka, Mathura, Jagannath Puri, Mayapur, Vrindavan, in all these dhams, if one is staying, that means he is under the protection of Govinda. So that's what Sukadeva Goswami is meant to be by the arms of the Govinda. He is telling he is protected by the arms of the Govinda. So that is why Narada Muni, the leader of the sages, always stays in Govinda, under the protection of the arms of the Govinda, because Narada Muni wish to stay always in Dwaraka after his preaching activities are over. So second verse says that Konu Rajan Indriyavan Mukunda Charanambujam Na Bhajet Sarvato Mrutyur Upasyam Amarottamai. So translation, my dear king in the material world, our conditioned souls are confronted by death at every step of life. Therefore, who among the conditioned souls would not render service to the lotus feet of Lord Mukunda, who is worshipable even the greatest of liberated souls? So here Sukadeva Goswami says to Parikshit Maharaj that in the material world, conditioned souls are confronted by death at every step. So if those persons, the conditioned souls, if they would not render devotion service to the Mukunda, the giver of liberation, definitely they have to suffer in this material world. They have to face a lot of distress, miserable conditions, abominable conditions. Because in the material world, we are always after the family activities, the material activities. Like the main central figure here in the material world is sense gratification. So because we are fully absorbed in lusty activities, and we always prefer to go after women's, and we always try to engage our senses in gratifying or enjoying with the opposite sex, and one more thing, after having that, we'll get in the future we'll get married, and we get sons, we get issues, and we'll be working hard for our family, and from dawn to dusk we'll be working hard, like how in the agriculture field the ox is working so hard in the fields from dawn to dusk, and after it gets old, the farmer throws off that ox to the ditch, and he disposes that ox to the slaughterhouse. Similarly, in the material world also, the conditioned souls works hard and supports so much for his family and to his family members. Finally, the result is, and what happens? As we all know that when we become older, when we are not the breadwinner of the family, definitely we will be excluded from the family, and even our own sons and wife for whom we have shed our blood throughout our life, they also will also throw us or indirectly drives off from the house, or they will accommodate in some old age for age for the old ones. The institutions. We will be resent to the institutions where the old age people are living, and in no way they will be connected to them. They will come and approach, or they will take they rescue us when we are in the old age homes. So that's what happens to the conditioned souls. The point is, when we don't render our devotion service to the Govinda or to the Mukunda, the giver of liberation, definitely we will be doomed, or we will be chased off, or we will be thrown to the different dimensions where we cannot, where there is no shelter except the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. In the second sloka, in the few coming sloka, the third sloka says, Tam ekada tu devarshim vasudeva gruhagatam architam sukham asinam abhivadyedham abravit. So here Narada Muni is visiting to the place of Vasudeva, who is the son of who is the father of Vasudeva. Because in those days, even now, in some institutions like International Society of Krishna Consciousness, we do go to the Grostha's house, and we do so many house programs or satsang programs or Bhagavat Sapta. So to deliver the conditioned souls and also to purify ourselves for the advancement of spiritual life. So this has been from continuing for so many yugas. Those yugas, in the yesterday yugas, there were the sages. They wished to go to the Grahastha's family. They wished to go to each and every city and every town and village to distribute the Vedic literature, to recite or to narrate the pastimes of Lord Vasudeva or Lord Mukunda, so that the conditioned souls who are fully absorbed, like how the water gets absorbed in the sponge, like that we are fully absorbed in the material entanglement and material activities, so that we cannot come out from that. We are so much attached to that. That is why the great sages like Narada Muni, who has seen the absolute truth, they themselves voluntarily take the risk and they give the opportunity to hear about the pastimes or the Nama Guna Rupa of the Lord, so that we can because of that information we will get the transformation. So in those days, like that, similarly Narada Muni visited Vasudeva's house, the father of Krishna, and Vasudeva gave him lot of hospitalities, and he gave him good reception to Narada Muni, and he received him with lot of paraphernalias. So Narada Muni was fully pleased the way he received the saintly person Narada Muni, who is Triloka Sanchara. Wherever Narada Muni goes, he keeps liberating the conditioned souls. So that is the main and prime service of the Narada Muni. And also Vasudeva respectfully bowing down to him. So Vasudeva was so humble, and he has got that the character of humility. So just because he is the father of Krishna, he never felt that I am the father of Krishna, why should I bow down to these sages? He never felt that. Immediately he bowed down and he paid the obeisances to Narada Muni. And Vasudeva said, "My lord, your visit like that of the father to his son." So Vasudeva was saying, your visit to my house is like how a father visits to his son for the benefit of the living beings. So here in this point, sloka verse, the greatness of the saintly person and the service rendered by the saintly person to the conditioned souls has been demonstrated and has been narrated by Sukadeva Muni to Parikshit Maharaj, because the material world is like a blazing fire where will become the ashes to this material desires. So when when the moon like a cooling agent appears, the fiery heat produced by sun will disappear. So it is also compared to the nails of the toes of Lord Vasudeva when it gives its prabhava or its influence. So the ignorance of the conditioned souls will vanish, and the knowledge of Vedas will arise in the heart of the conditioned souls, so that it cleanses the six anarthas like kama, krodha, lobha, madhya, maha. Lobha, kama, krodha, lobha, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. These six anarthas will be vanished when saintly persons like Narada Muni visits the place of visits the house of conditioned souls. So those days the grahasthas were very immensely, wholeheartedly receives the saintly persons. They will be waiting for a long time to receive the saintly persons. Whenever the saintly persons comes to visit the grahastha's house, the grahastha's house will celebrate like a great carnival in their house, because there is no one to deliver them except the celebrated saintly sages like Narada Muni. So that's the core point here in this verse. Because Narada Muni delivered so many conditioned souls, so many unwanted living beings who were unfit to live in this earth, on this earth. Once there was a hunter called Brughari, so whose main profession was to kill the animals, in a half way, like he will kill them in a he will kill them 50%, like he will devour them 50%, and when they were about to survive further, when they were about to try for the survival, he used to enjoy that torture. He used to enjoy that bhoga, how the animals were suffering. He used to enjoy that suffering. Like that, it is like half killing. So that was the duty of this Brughari. So once when Narada Muni came to that forest, he saw so many animals were half killed, and they are surviving for and they were trying to survive for their life. That time Narada Muni really felt very hard, and he went and approached Brughari, and Narada Muni asked Brughari, why, what is the benefit, what is the advantage you are getting by killing these animals? So that is what the profession or the business taught by my father, so that I can maintain my family. So then Narada Muni said, well, okay, if that is so, you go to your family, go to your house and ask your wife and sons, because by killing these animals who are also the part and parcels of the Lord, you will be gaining, you will be awarded to hellish planet, where there are 28 different hellish planets. You will be tortured like anything. You will be fried. You will be roasted in different dangerous hellish planets. So that will be the result of these activities. And you have to commit. You have to take the sinful activities in bulk. So that will be the punishment for you. So better you go to your wife and children and ask them to share these sinful activities, so that they can also get the punishment. So when Brugari went to their house and asked his wife, so I am working hard to maintain this family for you and your children's, for you and our children's. So why can't you take some sinful activities from me? Then wife replied to his husband, it's not my duty to take the share of that sinful activities. It's your headache. Then when he went to children, and children also gave the same reply to them. Then he came back to Narada Muni and told the word, and he answered all the things. He replied what the wife and children has told. So then Narada Muni told, see, that is your state, that is your plight. If this is the plight, then why you have to kill the animals and why you have to take the sinful activities just to maintain your family? There are so many different activities. So then Brugari approached Narada Muni, what is the thing, what is the best thing I have to do? Then Narada Muni told, you sit near this Tulasi Maharani and start chanting the holy names of the Lord. So definitely Lord will take care of you, and he asked, what about my food and shelter? You don't worry about that. Krishna will provide everything. So then the Brugari has taken the instructions of Narada Muni very seriously, and he started chanting the holy names of the Lord. And so he started chanting every day. So by hearing his prayers, Lord felt so ecstasy, and he started sending all the grains and all the necessities of his family life. So that means if we try like that, it is not possible, because we don't have that pure devotional service. So for that we have to render pure devotional service, and we should always under the protection of the arms of Govinda and Govinda's devotees. Definitely Lord will protect us, but we should have faith, and we should have confidence, and we should also have that inclination or desire to render devotional service like this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Kantarashya Madhbhavatam ki jai.